You shouldn't buy a project without BTOs nearby. Let's talk about it. Today, if you want to buy a property, if you do not have a strong BTO support, we do not have upgraders around there, like in the core central region where you do not have upgraders to buy from you. A little bit of backstory was that I was sharing this with my client about looking into an area that has strong human capital. To me, BTOs is like a way of depositing young people and young blood into a location. But however, if an area doesn't have that, we do not have liquidity in the market. Example, Clementi Avenue 1, we have quite a strong number of BTOs down there. And you do have people that want to upgrade within the area because they actually built their own family around there. We actually do have preschool, primary school, secondary school, tertiary institutions, up to even universities. So in such a location, you do have a lot more potential upgraders. And even in this area, right, these people actually have strong career progression as well because it's quite near to a few different locations that you can find jobs such as the One North region and also the Jurong area. And that translates into profitability of projects, which we'll share more later in the video. Here are some things I'll be sharing with you today. Number 1, how HDB actually prices units based on affordability of a young couple. Number 2, the career growth of a young couple during the BTO cycle. Number 3, how affordability actually helps the condo owners subsequently in an area. And lastly, how the government is actually building demand in growth areas. Before we get started, please help me like this video so it can reach more people out there. Thank you. Number 1, let's talk about affordability based on income-based pricing. So one of the key features of Singapore's BTO strategy is actually to price it based on affordability of young couples and not based on resale pricing. So this allows couples to be able to approach buying a property easily within their means and build their family from there. So if you look at the article over here where Prime Minister Lawrence announced to us that they actually price BTOs based on affordability and not against the resale pricing. So one of the important things is that they actually analyze the household income before pricing a unit in the location. So this pricing strategy allows people to feel more at ease when they buy a first property and not be financially stressed out by buying their first home. This actually creates a foundation of the market where it allows us to look at how young couples career progress and from there maybe subsequently upgrade to private condos. So point number 2, how career growth during the BTO cycle helps this overall affordability of a condo or even a private property. So firstly, we need to understand that BTOs do tend to have a 4.3 years on average construction time. And along that, the couples have to stay for 5 years before they can start to sell in the market. So most people when they first start buying a BTO is during their late 20s all the way to the early 30s. Most of the time they move in about 32, 33 range where they could stay for 5 years and they're actually about 38, 39 before they start to make their next move. So along this way, right, these couples actually progress in their career such that they do have a lot more savings. And with the current resale market, for example, in Clementi, we do see prices of 5-room flats hitting 1.3 million, even in the mid-range floors. And with that, we can analyze what could be their initial purchase price. So they actually bought in previously about 600,000 to 700,000 for a 5-room flat and right now selling at 1.3 million, which means that these people do have very strong down payment capital because they actually sold at a very good profit. Then with that, they're actually able to upgrade to a condo. For example, in today's market, we have Clavon Residences and also the Cameron Canopy. You can actually see that people are able to afford to buy a 4-bedder and pay a profit of 900,000 because they are able to upgrade within the area. Having BTOs is very crucial because we do not want to have situations where we cannot sell to someone whenever we buy a property because liquidity matters. And that's where we look at entering a unit securely in these two projects. Having BTOs in an area allows us to have more human capital such that we can actually exit easily. So number 3, how affordability drives demand in the condo market. So the government's focus on income-based affordability pricing plays a critical role in sustaining demand for the condos in the future. So let's break it down. So when a BTO owner finally sells their property, they're actually selling at a very good profit because they actually have a long time allowed the property to slowly inflate before they sell in the open market. So with that, they have the capital to actually do upgrading. Because in recent times, I actually do see a lot of couples selling a BTO 5-year MOP at maybe 1 point something million, then subsequently being able to upgrade because they do have a lot more CPF saved up. And second important thing, they have a lot of cash saved up as well. So this whole process is actually a natural progression from the affordability-based concept the government actually created for BTOs, which allow many couples to move on to a private property. So just to give you an example, is that Clementi actually reached an all-time high of a 5-room flat of 1.3 million. And on top of that, looking at this area, we actually do see quite a number of transactions, especially above $1 million for HDBs around there. So this actually gives us a lot of price support because a lot of these owners bought into the BTOs at around 500,000-600,000 at that time, or even 700,000. These actually are what I mean by strong human capital. So this cycle actually allows the condo market to be more vibrant, especially in certain growth areas such as the Tengah town and also the future possible town of Springleaf or even Lentor areas. So point number 4, building demand in a growth area. So especially when we look at these things, is that the BTOs, how the government actually plan is that they actually plan it around infrastructure developments. So one of the examples that we have is actually the Thomson East Coast Line, where it actually connects a lot more areas in the north all the way to town and even into the eastern part of Singapore. So this particular Thomson East Coast Line has many potential growth areas such as the Woodlands South area, where we have actually Norwood Grand. But beside Norwood Grand, we actually do have a lot of BTOs down there. So these people could either upgrade within the Woodlands South area or travel a few stops away into the Lentor region, where it's just 2 MRT stops away. So these are what I mean by strong human capital that floats throughout this MRT line. Personally, when I look at my own property purchase, when I purchased this Lentor mansion, this is one of my considering factor when purchasing the unit over there, because I do see a lot of BTOs being situated across this MRT line, which could potentially be my buyers whenever I sell my property later. So looking into this, right, looking at where the government launches BTOs versus their infrastructure changes allows us to have a better overview when entering a property. So if you want to understand more into analyzing this into deeper detail, you can actually hit me up where I can actually share with you how do you tailor-make your own property decision based on where the government is putting human capital, on top of that doing transformation in an area. So this is actually very important whenever we buy properties. This means that today, if we see a lot of BTOs being launched in an area, we can actually see a lot more demand in the future in this area for the resale condos or even subsale condos, because that's where government is placing human capital in a location. So take for example an upcoming transformation of Tampines North, which is where we do see the Parktown Residences and also Oriole. We can actually see a lot of BTOs surrounding the area. So this allows us to have a lot of exit potential later, because that's where the government is putting a lot of young capital, which is human capital, beside the MRT of Tampines North, which allows us to have a lot more upgrader pool subsequently in the future. So in conclusion, if we want to buy a property, let's buy within reach of a BTO cluster, because you do not want to buy something that do not have upgraders to buy from you. Because when someone upgrades or sells a property, they have capital to pay us a profit or even upgrade to their property journey, versus into a location where it's quite a dead town already. There's not much transformation or not much young capital there. We do not have exit potential to sell to someone. Choosing this allows us to exit easily subsequently. Again, if you like this video, please help me like, share and subscribe to this channel and hit the notifications bell to get notified for more videos like this. I look forward to see you on the next one. Cheers everyone.